All right, hello, welcome. My name is Shaina. I'm an astrologer, tarot reader, and I guess a little bit of an experimentalist. Also, I'm sure you can tell something's a little different. My voice is gone. I'm sounding a little bit different. I don't know where my voice went. I hope that I'll find it soon. I actually had a completely different video planned for today, but we need to adapt, we need to adjust, and so I wanted to try out this instead. So what is this? So this is based on the pick a card readings that you see on YouTube, TikTok, that you just see everywhere. This is tarot based to start with. We have 3 piles, but I wanted to incorporate different metaphysical studies and just kind of different, I guess, mediums in it as well to kind of get more of a, instead of pick a card, more of like a pick a healing session. I'm going to incorporate my knowledge of astrology, kind of incorporate some energy healing. I've never done anything like this, so we'll try it together, but I've had this idea for quite some time, and I'm excited to try it out. Before I get any further, let me just do some quick advertising. I sell full-length birth chart readings on my website, shainaemily.com. I also sell tarot readings. If you're interested in your own little healing session customized to you and your astrology charts, you can email me at shainaemilyastrology@gmail.com and maybe we'll figure something out. I also have an astrology TikTok and I have a personal Instagram. So the topic of this video is, why am I so miserable? The reason why I picked this, I'm actually feeling pretty good right now in my life, but I'm a Capricorn stellium. Come on, misery and Capricornian qualities go hand in hand. Admittedly, I watch a lot of pick a card readings on YouTube, and this is a title that I have searched on honestly multiple occasions, and I never see one. Yes, there's why am I depressed? Why am I feeling depressed? Why am I sad? But none of those are quite why am I miserable. I feel like misery and depression and melancholia are all very different. And I think the big difference with misery is that there's a lot of care and passion and want that's still involved. Like, you can just always see that things have the potential to be so much better and so much more useful and so much greater than they are. I think misery sees a lot of potential in things. So let's talk about the 3 piles I see. This pouch is for pile number 1. It's black and then it has this gold and silver moon design on it. This pouch is pile number 2. It's burgundy and it's velvet. It has this really pretty gold design. And this pouch is for pile number 3. Has the all-seeing eye. Now, some people say that they like to meditate on the piles, but my piece of advice, and one of my favorite ways to actually do it, is to use my version of God, which is random number generator. If you're not sure which pile that you belong to, or if you just want to kind of leave it up to the God of random number generator, I'd really recommend it. I've honestly found a lot of success. I think it can take away some of your own bias. You might pick the pile or lean towards the pile of the thing that you want to hear. I think obviously random number generator is very neutral. It'll probably steer you to the pile that you need to hear. Now you can do whatever you'd like. That's just something that I've never heard people talk about that I personally use pretty consistently. All right, hello, welcome. Pile number 1. You chose this bag with the silver and gold moon on it. Now, I will say that because you are pile number 1, and this is the first time I've ever done something like this, I think a lot of the reason as to why you feel so miserable is I think a lot of it has to do with you feel so new to everything. You feel very unsure. You feel very, you feel like you're always taking the first step, whereas everybody else has already been, 7 or 8 steps ahead. Maybe you feel like everybody just has an innate understanding and even maybe an innate confidence that you potentially don't have. And that might be at what some of maybe the first little ping of where that misery comes in, or why you feel miserable at this time. Now, instead of starting with the cards, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to incorporate astrology. So I have this astro dice. I'm going to roll it, and I'm basically going to incorporate horary astrology, which is when you just kind of ask a question and use the chart at the time, the exact time that I'm at right now to answer your question. So I'm going to roll this planetary dice, and whatever planet it lands on, I think is a key major role in the energy in the house and all that sort of stuff, and the aspects as to kind of where your misery might be stemming from. All right. You got Venus. Okay, I think a lot of it does have to do with confidence. Maybe I'm going to also cleanse the space with this. Maybe you needed a little bit of a reset. I feel like I should do that. I don't know. I feel inclined. So maybe you do need a little bit of a reset. Maybe a lot of this has to do with your self-confidence, and maybe the reason why it's like pile one. And even in this thing here, it kind of has duplicity. So maybe you're feeling really lonely. Maybe you feel like nobody values you. And maybe that's where a lot of your misery is coming from. So right now, when I'm doing this reading where I live, Venus is currently at 21 degrees Aquarius. And it's just went into the 9th house. So I'm going to interpret that as you just got out of this Venus in the 8th house experience. Maybe this is my relationship pile. This is my traumatic relationship pile. It could very much be that that's kind of what you just exited with that Venus that just got out of the 8th house. Maybe you had a really committed relationship. Maybe it wasn't traumatic, but it wasn't very positive. Maybe it didn't end very well. I'm just going to also do some energy work. So this is, I'm going to count this as your head, and then this down here will be your feet. So I feel like you just got out of this Venus in well, actually Venus was in Aquarius. So just got out of this, I think, really committed relationship. Or if you didn't just get out of it, it's what's making you miserable. Those memories, those experiences, that stuff you're having a lot of trouble getting past. I'm actually feeling like it's not just one experience, that it's multiples. And I'm feeling it as you kind of would expect in the feet. I was going to say the feet and the heart, but I said the feet first. So I think that you may actually be thinking it's in your heart. It's very intuitive. There is some, blockages going on in your heart chakra, but I think a lot of this has to do with the lack of grounding. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but this is definitely my relationship pile. This is definitely the pile that's miserable. That because of the relationships that they put themselves in, right? That's why it's the feet too, right? You think you're following your heart, but you're not. You're trying to find some level of grounding. Think of Venus and Aquarius, how, very airy, very, sometimes can get a little bit lost, a little bit followed by the wind, a little bit, this, must be what I should do. And people forget Aquarius is a fixed sign. It very much is a fixed sign. It can get very much just like Taurus, Leo, Scorpio. It can say, I'm in this because I picked you just as much. It can say, I'm not going to act nice towards you. I'm going to be mean about it. Or I'm not going to talk with you, actually. The Venus and Aquarius in the 8th house. Sorry. I think of that as just not talking about anything. I don't think you've talked about this at all with many people or been very honest about it. And what I was going to say about the feet, the reason why I'm getting such a strong, I don't know if you can see me when I'm over. It doesn't matter if you can see me. The reason why I'm getting such a strong energy here, let me pull some stuff out. I feel like you don't feel grounded. So I feel like you just try to plant your feet wherever the universe puts you. Let me see what aspects are going on. Yeah, the instability is really frustrating me. What I was saying, I keep on going all over the place. That must be the kind of energy that you also feel. Yeah, I feel all over the place. That's very Venus square Uranus. I feel like I haven't been able to finish a thought. Yeah, it's like you're trying to ground yourself. And you're trying to pick these decisions that ground you, but they just wind up making you miserable. They wind up making you feel stuck, right? And I feel like you're getting out of that, right? I feel like you're allowing me to get rid of the energy. You're allowing yourself to be open to healing. You're just not ready to move on. I think that's what I'm taking a lot out of. It's like literal dirt and mud. Because I think of the feet as very grounded, like earth energy. And I feel like these are almost wounded. Like, I feel like the energy I took out was very wounded and painful. And I feel like I just need to put some kind of nice energy back. Hold on. I know I'm all over the place. Your energy is very all over the place. Let's try to ground ourselves together. I feel like I have some of the earth energy that you might be needing right now to kind of help you... my dog, to get like the distractions, to kind of help you focus yourself. You need focus, right? Baby, You can't be snoring like this, honey. You know what? I think that you've had a lot of trouble feeling like you're bothering people, feeling like you're annoying people and that you're taking up space. But maybe you should ask yourself, do you want to be taking up space with the people that you take up space with? Like, maybe you're not taking up much space because you actually don't like where you're putting yourself. And so why would you want to take up space in that situation? You should put yourself in environments that make you feel big and strong. And if they don't, then that's not needed for you. But I think with Venus and Aquarius, there is this need to connect. And there is this need to feel like there's some sort of unit or some sort of unity. Yeah, you love that. You love that. That makes you feel so strong. And you want to like everyone in the group. It's just very Venus and Aquarius energy. And in the 9th house, though, so what I was saying was, I think you've gotten out of a lot of this, but you're still feeling in it. Like, you're feeling like you're on the other side. Your experiences now, your experiences are being nicer, being sweeter to you. But your brain isn't, maybe, or you're just still thinking of all that old stuff that happened and you're not over it. Okay, so let's try to get over it. I'm already over talking about it. I feel like I wasn't planning on saging, but I feel like you need to be a little bit of cord cutting, a little bit of sage going on. I hope my boyfriend doesn't come home and is like, what the fuck are you doing? No, he doesn't mind, actually. Oh, maybe that was your paranoia. That's so weird, because if he saw that I was doing that, he would like it. So I think that's you. I think that's your paranoia. Like, oh my God, am I allowed to do this? Yeah. If you're in a relationship that you need to ask that, then that's not for you. So let's clear some of this out. You ain't around this anymore. I feel very strongly that because Venus just went into the 9th house when I checked it out, that this ain't what you're in anymore. I think you've done the hard work of getting out of it. But I don't think you've done the harder work of getting mentally out of it. Air sign, Aquarius. Let me just sage you a little bit. I'm not really well lit. I apologize. All right. I think you want to say you're past it. And I think you don't even want to say that you were ever under it. But there's a part of you that is still making decisions because of things that happened in the past. I feel like I preach this idea a lot. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I see people fall in these traps a lot. And it's that, like, even if you're like people that are anti-Christian, that they're still Christian, right? They're still doing the Christian things. They're still making decisions that are against Christianity. So therefore, they're still letting Christianity rule their life. And I'm not saying that's you, but I'm saying maybe this is a situation with this relationship or these relationships that you're feeling like you're getting out of and you're being free from. I think you felt a little bit trapped for a while. I still feel a lot of heaviness by the feet, like extremely. I think that you're not happy. Oh my God, you're just like not happy where you're at. That's where a lot of the misery is coming in. Oh my God, this stone feels so heavy all of a sudden. I'm going to set that down and I'm going to try to clear that a little bit. Let's pull a card first. So what's going on? Why? It's not just the relationship, right? That is showing you that is a manifestation of some greater problem. Okay. So let's talk about these cards for a little bit. So we have Fury Tarot on the bottom. I need, like, you know what I need to do is I need to do 2 screens. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. All right, I just set up this camera really quickly. It's not the best. So right now we have the first cards that I drew. The first card I drew was 8 of Swords reversed. Second card I drew was 10 of Wands. And then the Chariot popped out. It really wanted to. And then the Fool really wanted to come out too. So with this, like, I even still feel it. I need to somehow cleanse this. Okay. I think you're just feeling so stuck. You're feeling like you want to be optimistic. And there is a part of you that still is very optimistic. But there's something about, I think that, yeah, well, obviously if I read the cards, if I just were to read the cards, I would say there's obviously something that you're refusing to see. Maybe there's a pattern that you have to take responsibility for, that has been on in your relationships. Like, I'm not saying you did anything wrong to them, but maybe you just need to value yourself more, Venus, right? Value yourself more enough to be like, it's about if I like this person. It's not just about if they like me, it's about if I like them, right? And just kind of asking yourself that, right? Do I like them, instead of being so focused on do they like me, which I feel like is Aquarius very cool. Like, doesn't want to, yeah, like, I don't like you, like, I don't care if you like me. But you did. It was in the 8th house. You did care if these people liked you a lot. You don't need to. You're Venus and Aquarius. People already think you're cool. People already want to be friends with you, even if you don't think that's true. You probably think you're the bad kind of the weird. You're the wrong kind of weird. Also in the relationships, I definitely feel like you took on a lot of the responsibilities there. And it's almost like the more that they didn't love you, the more you tried to prove that you could be loved, and like the less that they cared, and the more you kind of kept yourself blind to that. And I think right now, actually, with this Venus and Aquarius, you might not like all this energy that I'm taking out of your feet, actually. You might be like, no, Shaina, I want to be more grounded. I want more stability. But dude, you're not ready. Like, you're not. Venus and Aquarius in the 9th house. This is some time for instability. This is some time for seeking. This is some time for something new, learning something new, finding something new that you're passionate about. You got the Chariot. The Chariot did want to come out. There is some sort of victory. But with Venus showing up in Aquarius, square Uranus, conjunct Mars in Aquarius, this is not stable energy. This does not want you to be stable. I feel like the world is not bringing people into your life that are stable for a reason, because you don't need that, because you need to keep on moving and growing, and you need not hold so much bitterness and resentment for the time that people were in your life. I think that you want every relationship to be the most important relationship to you. I'm just thinking Venus in the 8th house, right? Even like conjunct Mars, like they're so important. There's so much passion there, right? And I just feel like it's not, like, maybe people are just in your life for a reason, like just for a time, and they don't need to always be in your life, right? I'm just kind of scanning here. I'm still just feeling a lot of energy at the feet, though. And then with the Fool there, I think you're feeling really, just embittered about relationships, and feeling really untrustworthy about them. But the world is saying with this Venus that just went into the 9th house that you need to kind of let go of that in the Fool. You need to kind of let go of that. You need to just allow the people that come into your life know that they're supposed to come into your life for a reason. Maybe not, but maybe not for the entire time, right? But there will always be people that come to you, always new people. You will always have people around you. It's Venus and Aquarius. And especially with the 9th house, there'll be a lot of new people. Don't close yourself off. Be open to it, but don't have such wild expectations, right? I feel like that's where a lot of this Ten of Wands comes in. Don't have these wild expectations that everybody's going to be like your next messiah. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's going to save you or something. You can save yourself. You got the Chariot. You're a very capable person. You're just obsessed with this like grounding, when I don't feel any of this energy as like, maybe it's just like the lack of stability that you've always had makes you crave it. But maybe you've had more stability than you realize it. It's just that maybe it just doesn't feel like it's ever enough. All right. Let me take away these cards. Let me tap into the mind there. Something is telling me, tap into the mind. There's something there. I'm going to leave some stones down here because this is a very special stone to me. I used to know what it was. It's special because I gave it to my mom because she asked for it. But I got to keep it when she passed and stuff. But I use it as like, it's black, so I use it as a clearing stone. So I'm going to set it down here and just kind of let it work by itself because it's very special. So I don't like to do much with it. Okay, so let's check out the mind here. So I think that since this reading, you feel even more nervous. Like your misery is a lot of social anxiety, I think. Maybe it has to do with crowds. Maybe it has to do with like forming bonds and all that sort of stuff. But I just see you really closing yourself off. Maybe actually this is not grounding. This is hiding. Maybe this problem that you have, you're thinking you're trying to find stability, but what you're really trying to find is like sameness so that you can control things and you can always control your day, control your outcome. And I think something has to do with the mind with that because I keep on being called. So we got the moon. And then I actually want to grab an oracle deck, and we got the magician. That's cool. I'll put these so you can. So I think you do a lot of mental gymnastics. That's what I see. I see you doing a lot of the head and the heart, the head and the heart, the head and the heart. Where are we? Okay, so let me see what. Gotta pull out one of my favorite decks, the Abandoned Oracle by Patrick Valenza. So yeah, it's like you're trying to go by your intuition, but then you're trying to use your intuition to control the outcome of everything. And that's what makes you so miserable. Because as much as you think like, no, I go by my gut, I'm so guided, da, 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 da. It's like, yeah, but your gut is almost like that's not what to follow. It's almost like your head's more mystical than your gut is. Your gut is like scared. Your gut is like tense. Your gut is like control focused, right? And then I feel like your head is actually a lot freer and your mind is actually a lot freer, which is interesting. Okay, so I got the grandmother reversed, which is interesting. That's what this card looks like. I'll show it to you upright. So, oh my goodness. I'm getting like Gypsy Rose vibes almost from this. Like, I'm getting like almost like over-parenting. Either you were over-parented or you over-parented someone or you over-parent the people that you're with. Or then you wonder why they act the way they do. And it's a lot of your own conditioning, it seems like. Because again, you have this real want to get close to people and to nurture them and to be helpful to them, which also has to do with the moon. Very Venus, very 8th house. But then you have this like thing where, I feel like you almost want to control them. I usually read this magician card as like fun sparks, new ideas, but I see it right now as this witchcraft class that I took. And I think that this relates to this. I'm going to show you this card one more time. I feel like it's very important. It was reversed though. So I think there is some level of feeling like you weren't over-parented and weren't over-nurtured and you constantly need more nurturing, constantly need more parenting. But I was going to tell you the story of this magician card is how I'm kind of reading it to you right now while I am going to do see what's going on here. Okay. Let me just You feel very open, by the way. I feel like I was always able to tap into your energy. I feel like you've done a lot of this healing stuff, psychological stuff before, and you're very open to it, I think. Maybe a little too open, right? I can be that way too. So with the magician card, I usually think of it as I think of it as sometimes like the autism card. I totally stole that from this girl that I had a reading with. Her name's Jaden. So thank you for letting me steal that. But yes, so she was like, because it's kind of like going your own way, creating your own destiny, kind of like it's very individualized and all that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure she has some Leo energy, so that could be it too. But I really like this card, but I think that I see it in your chart right now as a little bit scared. Like I took a witchcraft class. I just feel like this is so relevant to how you're feeling right now. I took a witchcraft class and the teacher, I really liked him at first. and I felt like he was very talented, and I had a lot to learn from him. But he wound up being just very scared of astrology and very scared of tarot and very scared of a lot of the other metaphysical arts that wasn't just pure magic. And I'm not saying like you only do magic, but like maybe there's only one thing of this sort of metaphysical stuff that or like psychological stuff that you're into, right? And you lock onto that one. Like he locked onto magic. There's a lot of stuff that like I feel like you want to be cradled. I feel like you want to be held. Sorry. I feel like you want to be rocked. Like softly like that. But yeah, I feel like you have a fear, and I felt like his fear came from, he actually kind of said this, I'm not just making this up. You know, astrology says that you can't control things. Astrology says that things are already fated, that it kind of questions the idea of free will. I feel like I want to take this energy and like spread it out. You know what I mean? And I feel like that might be like maybe you attach to astrology because you're like, oh, I like that it tells me who I am, but then I'm really scared of magic because, you know, I'm scared of like the power it has and like the scary stuff that I might open to, you know, or whatever your example is. I don't think it'll be exactly like what I said with he's more afraid of astrology because he more fears fate, you know, and that might be your issue. Maybe you more fear fate than you do these metaphysical arts themselves. I think that you do have a very strong connection to them though. Okay, I want to read what Patrick Valenza says in the guidebook for a grandmother in a second. You have a very beautiful heart energy. I feel like there's not really much that needs to be taken out. Just needs to be, I almost feel like it needs to be a little bit dusted off. You don't want me to go anywhere near sexual stuff. Like that was not what you wanted to talk about this reading. That's not misery. That's why you didn't want to talk about it. It doesn't have to do with misery. But there is a big thing there. So if I've never done any more of these, maybe it'll be answered in one of those. But you definitely have that blocked. But I think I see why. It's not like what you're feeling there is something very different than misery. Misery is more hanging out in your feet and in your head. Like the two top points in your body, like here. They're not connected, that's why. They're not ready to be connected. You feel like you'll lose it if they're connected. Okay, it's telling me that I should read the grandmother thing. A wretched old hag cuddles a rag doll close to her bosom. Though her doll is merely made of faded cloth, she cares for it as if it were her own flesh and blood. Interesting. It's like putting pressure and putting something on someone or something that isn't actually there. Upright, meaning, you did get it reversed, so this is not your meaning, but this is where it says, assigning value or tending to something most consider worthless. Misplaced emotions, a delusional or unbalanced relationship may be forming. I think that's your past. Now it's when it's reversed, abandonment of worthless priorities or relations. Okay. Geez, it's a little bit harsh. It seems very judgmental. So I guess maybe you, Let me get one more card. Where did I put them? Oh, you're kind of abandoning hope. As far as, I think you're kind of abandoning the idea of success. And that is where the misery lies. It's because you feel like you've abandoned this idea of success. You feel like it's worthless. You feel like it didn't give you the feeling that you wanted. It didn't give you the fulfillment that you wanted. And you're mad about it. You're upset about it. And this was something that you cared so much about, that you took care of, like that you nurtured almost as though it was a thing, the idea of success. And so then when you found some, or you didn't find some, whether it's in relationships or work or your life, just your life, when you didn't find it or when it wasn't satisfying, you abandoned it. And it's hurt. That part of you that still wants success, or that still wants to feel, I'm using the word success just because I'm a Capricorn, and I'm looking at the Nine of Pentacles, and that's my easy word to summarize it. What it really is like fulfillment. You were looking for success because you thought it would give you fulfillment, right? But really, you just need to look at what fulfills you, which I think does have to do with this card, grandmother. Maybe it does have to do with creating a legacy. Maybe it does have to do with creating a family. Maybe it does have to do with being some type of caretaker or nurturer. Let's see how these feel. This feels a little lighter than normal. Let's see. It's feeling a little lighter, but this one's feeling heavier, actually. This one still is connected to the mind, because this one's been playing around a little bit more. So now you feel good. You're like, I think you feel like I was right, maybe. And that's where that energy kind of got cleared up. That's where that grounding energy was going wrong. But there's still something here in the mind that you're attached to. And I'm not trying to, oh my God, I'm not one of those people that's like, don't have any attachments. I'm just saying, we're getting to the key of where the misery lies. And I think what I'm saying is, why I think it was released is because I was able to pinpoint it. Doesn't mean that it's healed. I think there's just some release. Yeah, you're like overthinking it. That's why I'm like explaining it. Oh my God, you won't stop. Okay, so your body is open to the healing. And your mind is like not all of a sudden. It's like closing off. That's okay. It doesn't want to be touched right now. I don't want to force anything. I feel bad when I do. I'm just going to do some last few minutes of some silent energy work. I'm going to actually check your chakras with the pendulum. And that's how I'm going to finish this off. But I think you just need some rest. What I think right now, the only way to heal this overactive mind that makes you feel miserable, what you're really looking for in this video, is some peace and quiet and some silence. So I'm going to give you a few minutes of that. I'm going to start at your crown chakra. You have a very strong and clear intuition, but it's not as reliable as you want it to be. It's actually sometimes works a little bit more, I don't want to say against you, but more, it's a little unreliable. It's a little bit sketchy. It's a little bit, it's not as clean as you want it to be. Like, how do I say this? Like, you know how they say Goku is pure of heart and Goku can ride the Nimbus cloud? I would say your intuition is pure, but not pure of heart, and I don't think it could ride the Nimbus cloud. So that might, again, that makes sense, because the issues that we're seeing here are the top of the head and the bottom of the feet. Your third eye chakra seems to be doing good. It's a little wobbly, but I wouldn't be too concerned. I think that more has to do with the support from the wobbly crown chakra. Now let's go to your throat. You think it's going to be closed, actually. but it's not as closed as you think it is. It's actually a lot more open than you think it is. It just feels a little slighted. Now let's go into your heart. I already feel like it's going to be almost like way too open. It actually seems very healthy. That's very beautiful. You have a very good heart. I think you have good intentions. The solar plexus chakra. I love this one. It's good. You're expressing yourself. You're doing, that makes sense. Venus and Aquarius in the 9th house. You feel like you're expanding your mind, expanding your sense of self, expanding who you are. You seem pretty healthy, actually. Now let's get into your sacral chakra. I don't trust this. I feel like you're having sacral chakra issues that, like I mentioned, you don't want to talk about in this video. It seems okay though. Maybe I'm picking up on something that isn't there. Or maybe this is just telling me for this specific misery. It's not what makes you miserable. Maybe you think it would be, maybe you thought the whole video was going to be focused on that. And that's what you keep putting it on. But that's actually not it. And lastly, your root. This is not your feet. I'm actually going to go to your feet separately. Yeah, you're looking good actually. Okay, your feet. So far, no surprises for me. As far as this goes. Do you have some harsh Pisces energy somewhere? Also look to where 21 degrees Aquarius is in your natal chart. Because that's where Venus is, and that house that falls in will play a big role in your misery. I don't mean to laugh. You got mad at me because I laughed. That makes me laugh more. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're like sassy, okay? So yeah, your feet are they're closed off. It's like you knew that your chakra was closed off and you got like self-conscious of it. So you like striked back at me. But listen, we're all miserable here. That's why we're here, okay? It's all one and the same. No, I'm just kidding. It's not, but yeah. So, okay, yeah. You seem pretty healthy actually. It's just these two things, these two parts of you are not aligning. It's like what you want for security is not actually what you want. What you've been going after, what you've been walking towards is not actually what you want to be walking towards. Okay, I'm gonna close up in a second. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you enjoyed the concept or got something out of it. Let me know any thoughts, any feelings, whatever it might be. Thank you so much for being here, Pile 1, and for trying this out with me, for being open enough to try it out with me. You must be cool if you feel open enough to give it a shot. All right, bye. All right, hello, welcome, Pile number 2. You guys chose this bag. Oh, I love this bag. Isn't it so beautiful? I like the tarot that's in it as well. Nothing too fancy, but it's like, isn't that so nice? So, okay. Let's first connect with each other. I'm feeling a lot of anxious energy, baby. Definitely a lot of anxious energy. She's usually the one that's sleeping, so I'm not sure what she's doing. Let's just first connect. Let's first breathe together. Because I honestly, before I started this, I already got this feeling of a lot of heaviness, a lot of harsh memories, all that sort of stuff. Let's light an incense. I always go back and forth. I'm like, is it incense? So I have mine here. And basically I have one of these planetary dice. And basically I'm using horary astrology. So definitely I'm feeling also with this so far that this is going to be the most closed off or hesitant pile. I haven't done the third pile yet. I've only done the first pile, but I just have a feeling that this pile is very like hesitant, like, ooh, I don't know, like not trusting of me to understand you, not trusting of anybody to understand you. You know what? I didn't actually roll the dice, but I did set it down, and I'm just gonna kind of go with it because of what I just said. And I look down, and I didn't mean to, but I see the moon. So there is definitely a lot of emotionality coming into why you're feeling miserable. I think this is my pile that feels more depressed than they do miserable. I think there's a little bit less hope. Speaking of, it's interesting that when I look at the moon, I didn't even pay attention, but it is currently at 0 degrees Capricorn. It just went into Capricorn. So it does have a little bit of this Sagittarius energy. Like maybe it came from a place of a lot of happiness and a lot of free feeling, and right now it's just not feeling that way. And its misery is really coming from almost like age, whatever that means to you. Everybody can feel old at whatever age, at different ages. Everybody can feel young at different ages. I think right now you're feeling a little self-conscious of your age, but I don't know if you feel old. But I think with that moon 0 degrees in Capricorn, maybe what it is, you don't feel old. Maybe you feel so new to this Capricorn energy. You still feel much more like a Sagittarius, like, oh, you know, this doesn't really matter. But oh, you know what this reminds me of? I'm not saying this is your age, but I saw this TikTok like literally today, and I'm 27. I'm not saying you're 27, but you might relate to this TikTok workplace, whatever age, where it was like, you know, everything is like, everybody says to you from, you know, when you're like 18 to 26, like, oh, you have time, don't worry about it. You have so much time, don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden when you turn 27, everybody's like, you don't have any time anymore. You kind of feel like whatever age you're at, you don't have any time anymore. And I think that's where a lot of that misery is coming from. Now, I don't know if this is an actual threat, or if you just feel like the Sagittarius energy of like, I don't think you're actually in trouble with like anything. Yeah, you're not like, your life is not at stake. You got the Wheel of Fortune, but what it is that what comes up must go down, right? So if you live this really high ride in Sagittarius moon energy of like going by the whim of your pants, just enjoying yourself, taking on every experience, saying yes, you know, the opposite of being frivolous, basically, flamboyant, whatever it might be. You know, what goes up must come down. So now this might be a time where you're having to learn to be more prudish, more thrifty, more like enjoy the more mundane things of life, find more grandeur in that than you're used to, especially because it will be moving into the 5th house, I think, once this reading maybe picks up and you feel more comfortable. But right now you're coming to this reading in more of a place, I feel like you have so many duties. And I just don't think you're trusting things, right? Like, you have to trust the balance of things. Moon is square Neptune. So yeah, oh, Wheel of Fortune. So with Moon square Neptune, it's like you're not trusting. Also, when you hear what comes up must go down, you're judging that and you're stressing out. I'm a lot more moody. I'm a lot more Sagittarius energy. Very loud on your feet, but it's like, no, I need, for some reason I'm feeling like, no, I need to stay grounded, I need to stay focused. I'm like, the last pile is a lot more all over the place, and I feel like they almost were more okay with that, or more on that level. I feel like with your reading there needs to be some level of grounding, or there needs to be some level of consistency, right? Like, you're being asked for that. It's interesting that both piles so far have had to do with themes of grounding, as far as maybe that's just grounding has to do with misery. Maybe that's at the root of it somewhere, right? So also your Moon is square Lilith in Libra. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, so before I go any further, let me just scan in with you and scan in with things now that I have a little bit of your energy, a little bit of the theme of this reading. I'm going to pick a little bit of an incense. I didn't do it in the last one I was going to, but I think this pile is a pile that like incense. Do I have any of these, or are these out? Oh, this is a box that I kept for sentimental value. Maybe you're a very sentimental person, and maybe that's painful, right? Maybe that's, you're holding a lot of things very strongly, very sentimentally. And maybe that's causing some friction. I'm feeling drawn towards this one, and I'm feeling drawn towards this one. Oh, okay. So what's interesting is that the moon placement that's in the sky right now is not one that is watery, but I do feel quite a bit of watery energy from you. There's only one of these left, interesting. The other ones are really full. This one, I guess, has been used a lot in this household. This is, I'll show you, these are always really pretty. This is a Mystical Sea. Again, that's where the water came in. And it's ocean salt, that's what it smells like. I love the smell of water. My perfume smells like water. Well, one of them. Oh, I'm sad it's out, but I'm happy to be using it and enjoying it with you. Even if you can't smell it. Sometimes I can't smell things and I still enjoy it. Now, the theme of misery. Maybe you need to bring that in your life a little bit. Maybe you have a little bit of problems with FOMO and being left out. I don't know where that came from. And maybe that's a piece of your misery. Like, maybe you're like, oh, there's only one left. I wish there was two. And let's take a look at the rest of the chart. I didn't do this last time, but I'm going to actually take a look at it this time. So now we're more sat in this Leo rising energy. Cancer's being held in the 12th house. Okay. Pisces sun in the 8th house is the ruler. I'll show you actually what I'm looking at. I think you feel so miserable because you're trying to live on top of a lot of problems, and you have a lot of pride, actually, and you don't want to hear that you have a lot of pride. I don't feel like you think you do, but you also know everybody has pride, especially you have pride a lot in your work, which is good. I think a lot of maybe why you're feeling miserable is because you're feeling so emotional about maybe your disconnection to your work, or feeling like your work is very unfulfilling right now, or feeling like you're not doing a good job. Maybe you're feeling like you're just not doing as good of a job as you would like to be, And a lot of it has to do with because you're kind of off in another world right now. You're kind of off in a little bit of your own la la land. And a part of me almost wants to feels like it's the first time that you've ever been able to do that. And you want to live in that. But reality is still continuously knocking at your door. Look, so I got the got the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. Insert Five of Pentacles here. Also a little bit of the vibes. Eight of Pentacles, right? And you get knocking on your door, and it's like, anyways. Let me check in a little bit with your energy. You don't want me to. You do not want me to at all. So I'll be nicer about it. I'll do something that's a little bit more familiar, if that's okay. Do you consent to this? Are you comfortable? Ask yourself that. And if you're not, you don't have to. Something tells me that you're a little bit almost like sensitive. Maybe you're very, very sensitive to energy work. So if you're at all feeling a little bit unsure, it's no pressure. It doesn't matter. Let me clear space just one more time. Just relax. Take a deep breath with me. You're a lot warmer than people think. You're also a lot quieter than my last group. My last group was a lot louder. Don't tell them I said that. They wouldn't like that. They feel very sassy. Okay, so my last group was very sassy, but they were very open. You are very warm, but you're very closed, which is interesting because you think be the other way around. People are very interesting. Okay. I'm gonna check. You want me to start here. Okay, I'll start with your root chakra. I need to take a sip of water. You need to drink more water. Holy shit. You need to drink so much more water. That's not something I say to people. Or like, that's not one of those things I run around toting. But be careful. That might be connected to things more than you think. Okay. 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 Your root chakra seems fairly open. Good. You actually do have grounding and stability. People might think when they see a pile, right? This is why I think this stuff really helps each other. Because you might think, oh, you don't have stability right now. You don't have grounding right now. That's not what this card is saying. I think you actually do have that. I think what you're feeling is, well, it's not a root chakra thing. Yeah, you're actually very happy with what you have. See, I felt like I should draw a card. You're actually really happy with what you have. Your root chakra is normally actually what makes you feel very miserable, but it's not right now. You live a lot by your solar plexus. Sorry, your sacral. I always say these two wrong. Maybe you live by both of them very strongly. Yeah, I don't even have to go to the next two because this is healthy. You're not celebrating it though. You know who you are, and you're very connected to your sense of self, and you're very connected to what you like and what you don't like, and that's something that everybody celebrates around you. Oh, that's something that everybody doesn't celebrate around you. Maybe that's why you like my channel. I have that energy. Like, I feel like, you know, when people are told, like, just be yourself. You know, you get told that a lot, especially like I grew up in an artistic environment. Maybe you were told that, or you just hear that. Like, be yourself, just be yourself. In the real world, people don't want you to be yourself. People don't want you to be yourself at all, especially in the work world, right? You can't be yourself in the corporate work world at all. And so you're just feeling like you have such a strong connection to your sacral chakra and your solar plexus chakra, you know, your own emotional life, your own wants and desires, your own heat, your own fire, whatever. Maybe very creative, maybe very musically inclined. You really like that about you, or you did. But people aren't responding to that very well, I think, which is interesting. Again, all this stuff I think is really supporting each other for you and helping each other, because you would look at these two chakras and they're open, they're together, they're in harmony. I think they're working as one for you almost. For some reason, it's not being taken well externally, even though it works so well within you. Maybe it's tied to something else here. Let's look at your heart. Yeah, you're not wanting to open it up for me. Now you said, oh yeah, I'll show you. Okay. You're working hard. You're working hard on your heart chakra. You just need some more positive reinforcement. You like to say you do well with negative reinforcement, but you crumble. You do not like negative reinforcement. You've had to work with it your whole life, but it actually doesn't bring out the best in you like you pretend. I love this card. It's so pretty. So you got the star. I think you love very honestly and truly. You know, you love people that are, you know, that you see this purity of heart in. That's what you're attracted to. Things, beings, people, environments, whatever it might be, interests or whatever it might be. I think that you love in also a very hopeful way. I think you do see the best in people. You don't think you see the best. You see the best in people that you love, that you really care for. You really give them a lot of chances, and you really give them a lot of freedom to be themselves. And you hope that that gets returned. And I think right now, it is getting returned in the people that you love and that you know closely. So I don't think that any of these are actually why you're miserable. I think these are actually working well together to heal each other. And I think this has to do more with some past stuff. I think I started at the beginning saying, like, I feel the most, like, almost like burdens, past traumas, past issues kind of coming into this reading a lot more. Like, this reading feels, I already can tell it feels the heaviest, and I haven't even done one of them, but you can just feel it, right? I think this is around where I already feel it. I already feel very heavy. I don't want to touch this yet. Let me just work on this a little bit. Just connect with me a little bit. We're gonna work on your throat chakra. This is a very special stone to me. Oh, my stuff's very special, but especially this. Putting it on your throat, though. I think your love is very natural and very honest, and a lot of it comes from the words that you speak. And I think you're very truthful with your words. It's the 3 of Wands. Oh, you think more than you speak. You're definitely usually in states of contemplation. Oh, I'm activating your throat chakra. That makes sense. I'm activating it more. The heaviness that I was feeling is blockages. can like feel my throat. Maybe you are having a sore throat issues too. I'm gonna actually clear these cards. And I just want to focus on this part of you. This is what your focus is with this misery stuff. This misery business. Maybe you were a little emo or punk kid growing up. It feels like you're trusting me a little bit more. I feel like I can put some good energy in now instead of just take some energy out. Because that's more, you think stuff needs to get out, like bad energy needs to get out. But I think good energy needs to go in. You're actually a lot more resourceful than you think. You're a lot more loved than you think. There's a lot more admiration around you than you think. And there's a lot more admiration around you that's possible. You hate that I'm even saying this stuff. Oh, you're being so negative. Yeah, I feel like it's breaking. You're feeling more comfortable with me. I think you like how I speak maybe, or I think you like that I'm embarrassing. I'm weird, I don't know. Something like that. Maybe it makes you feel a little bit more safe or whatever it might be. I'm like maybe I feel non-threatening to you or something, which is good. Okay. So, okay, a lot of this has to do with work. Let me draw another energy, because I've always felt like you need to. Okay, so this is the South Node. Where's the South Node? The South Node's in Libra, 16 degrees Libra, in the 3rd house. Okay. I'm not reading this at all. 2 of Swords, reversed. All I'm reading this as is, we're talking about the throat chakra, past relationship dishonesty. You know, from both parties, and you being kind of above that, you right now needing to be more truthful and honest, but that feeling very painful, that feeling very vulnerable and exposed, and like you don't speak how I speak. I speak very to the point. I speak a lot more exposed. I think you speak in a much more nice, charming, flirtatious sort of way. That can kind of skirt around things sometimes. Not that you don't have times that you're direct, but it's almost like even when you're direct, I think you're playing games. Even when you're being direct, you're still playing games. That's what it is. You're still twiddling around. I don't know what else to call it. Let's, you need some, I don't know. You have a lot of stuff. I think a lot of your misery is surrounding your throat chakra, actually. Getting some of it out. Letting some of it go. I felt drawn to draw this, which I think that's kind of how I'm interpreting it. All right. I'm gonna let that work by itself. I know that you seem like you're in a rush. Calm down. Sit down. Relax. Just as one of my favorite people on here says, Sarah Louise Tinsley, I think is her name. Nobody wants anything from you right now. Nobody needs anything from you right now. Okay? You're not as perceptive as you think. Your third eye chakra is actually a lot more blocked than you think it is. You have a very clear, I almost want to say, like a very pronounced third eye chakra. So it being cloudy and it being covered up is not as, almost I want to say detrimental as most people, because you're still a lot perceptive. You're a lot more perceptive than most. But you are still dealing with your own blockages here. I'm getting a lot of masculine energy in your third eye chakra. That doesn't mean that you are a masculine. That doesn't mean you resonate with masculinity anywhere else. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It don't matter. But in your third eye chakra, it's like very perceptive masculine energy. What I mean by that is you use the facts, you use what's around you, you use outside confirmation, right? You have a very logical approach to this stuff. I think you might be trying to reason with it sometimes. Like you're trying to negotiate things with your third eye, like with your perceptiveness. That card comes out again. The Four of Wands reversed. And then I'm going to grab one for your crown chakra. Your crown chakra is good. I was like, yeah, that's what's feeding your third eye chakra so healthfully. So it looks like your main issues are actually your third eye and your throat. You are naturally very connected. I think even your aura has this card wants to stay up. Even your aura has some clear to it, maybe, or some white, or some pink, or some teal, or some, like one of those iridescent, maybe like iridescent purple, like light, those kind of iridescent colors, which I see as just being very connected eternally. I shit you not, I drew the moon again. So yeah, the moon is very connected. Okay, so let's check out the moon one more time before we close this up. There's something I'm being called to do. But what am I being called to do? It's like I can't put my finger on it. Oh, I know. I'm being called to write. Okay. You hate writing. You're being called to write. Dear. So the first word I get is dear. It's like you want to write a letter, or you want to write a message to somebody, but you keep stopping. Like I wrote that word and then that was it. All right. I wrote, lonely souls hold on to possessions so they have something that sticks by them when they leave. Don't judge me for my possessions. Just because you have what? What do you have? What do you have? That's a big theme of this reading. And your misery is, what do you have? What do other people have? How invested are you in other people's things? How invested are people in you and your things? How invested are people in you emotionally? How invested are people in the real you? Would people be invested in you if they knew the real you? You're very defiant. People are going to hate how defiant you are. I think it's funny, but I don't think as many people are going to laugh about it as me. Just because you want me to write, okay, just because you want me to write doesn't mean I have anything to gain from it. Okay, then don't. Don't write. Don't ever write. Just leave it all in there. I'll take these away. Like, what do you mean? Do you want help or do you not? You know what I mean? People take away help when you act like that towards them. You know, when you're helping. People don't want you to help anymore. I don't know where that came from. I keep being drawn to write more. You're just telling yourself you're stupid. It's like, why? Why would I write that? Oh, is that how you feel? That's how you feel. That's how you feel. You feel like whenever you write, you just tell yourself how stupid you are. And you're like, why would I write that? Okay, well, maybe what you need to write isn't something like a journal. Maybe it's we need to get back to the top of it, which is like dear. To someone about something, about a story, about this, about that. Maybe there's just something you need to get off your chest. Maybe there's a letter that you don't even need to mail, that you just need to write just to get past something. And there's something that you're hanging on to emotionally, whatever it might be. There's a few things I think you're hanging on to emotionally. I think they're all clogged up in the chest and in the throat right here. I didn't mean to say chest, so I guess they are clogged up in the chest. Let's bring Venus in here a little bit. This is my Venus little planetary oil. I'll put it on myself. And I'll put it on you. You like good smelling things. You're very attracted to the feminine. Whether that means that you're a girl and you're just very attracted to the feminine archetype, the feminine aesthetic, whatever it is being feminine, or whether that means, you know, you're a girl that's very attracted to women, whether that means you're a man that's super attracted to women, whether that means you're a man that's just attracted to the feminine nature in a person. You do like seeing, I think what I should say, you like seeing pleasing things. I see. You feel like you aren't always around pleasing things. Oh my God. You feel like you're around a lot of things that make you sad, and a lot of things that make you stressed, and a lot of things that upset you, and a lot of things that are ugly, and I think that's what makes you miserable. I think you're very sensitive to your environment. There's a lot of wands here. There's a lot of action being taken. There's a lot of acting. Maybe there's not a lot of, and there's not much talking, but even so, there's still not much thinking before you yell. Looks like we need a message. Yeah, look, so many wands. What are you rushing to? What are you rushing to? So what I was going to say is that I think your environment, you're a lot more sensitive to it than you admit. And you want your environment to be one that's comfortable, that you feel good to. And you even want the people that are around you that you're talking to be happy and in good environments. If they're not, it can be really hard on you. So maybe you're in a better environment right now, but the people that are around you, maybe you got a promotion at work, but the people around you didn't. And that's really hard for you to see because you're happy for yourself and you deserve it and you earn it. And it's a long time coming, but it also feels like you still have to be around that yuckiness. You almost like don't want to be around that yuckiness anymore. Yeah, it feels like you can't celebrate your victory. That's why you feel misery, because you shouldn't be miserable. I think there is a lot of love in your life, though. We think there is a lot of even like spontaneity. I want to use this Jupiter oil too. I don't know why. I'm just, oh my God, I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. Maybe that's how you feel. Oh, look at all this energy. Do this, do that for me. Can you do this for me? Oh, can you do this for me? Oh, can you do that for me? Can I get this? Can I get that? Can I do that? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. No, you don't need Jupiter. You have enough. I'm actually not going to put the Jupiter oil. I am just going to use nothing. And I'm just going to clear this. And I'm going to finish off your last few minutes with just some energy stuff. So you're miserable because you need to move away from old thought patterns and habits. You ran away from them with all that fire energy. But now you're kind of dealing with these consequences. And it's because, let's see. Parts of you have caught up to not being miserable, but parts of you haven't yet, you know? That's okay. Don't rush it. Yeah, why are you in a rush? Things need to heal. Things are healing as they're supposed to. You know, even though this is the pile with the most trauma and hardship behind them, I think it's the pile with the most, like, clarity forward. And freeness forward. I think there's a lot of good stuff going forward. Let me just ground you a little bit. You don't want me to. Do you really not want me to? Okay. Just give yourself some mental space. You're clogging up your thoughts with thoughts that don't matter and thoughts that don't concern you. Focus on what matters. Focus on what you care about. You know, like if you just okay, here's the final piece of advice. This is advice my mom gave to me. I'm gonna put the heart back on your throat chakra. Let's put it over you. So when I first got out of school, she said that the hardest thing about after you graduate and you don't have school anymore is finding out what to do with your time, figuring out how to prioritize things, how to prioritize your time. It's almost like that's kind of where the space is that you're at right now. And if you're feeling miserable, it's because you're not prioritizing your time right. If you want me to give it to you straight, which it seems like you do, if you just prioritize your time right, everything is supplied for you. You're very connected in your crown chakra. You're good. All right. I feel like you're good. All right, thank you so much for joining me here. Don't forget I sell birth chart readings and tarot readings, and I have an astrology TikTok and Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for being here and for trying this out for me and being open to it and becoming more open to it as the kind of reading progressed, which was really sweet of you to trust me a little bit more. But yeah, thank you. All right, bye. All right, pile 3. Let's connect first. Pile 1 was open, but you are even more, I wouldn't even say open, you're just like honest. I think you're just here. You're here. And that's good. You couldn't ask for anything more or less. Like, that's what you want, you know? You seem to have the best mentality towards this whole situation. I'm like, are you? Yeah, you are miserable. You are very miserable, I think, in the hard part of things, as I'm cutting through very quickly. But I don't think that's as much your general demeanor. Like, I think the other 2 piles had a much more demeanor of misery and feeling miserable. I don't feel that as heavy in you, even though I do feel a lot of deep-rooted misery. Like, it's almost just like that's you. That's who you are in your core. Your moon sign has a lot to do. I said that, but I got the sun sign. I got sun. So maybe your sun sign is actually the one. Because the last one was more moon-oriented as far as why misery follows them. Whereas you more follow misery. I think you just are misery. And it's like, that's just kind of your vibe. Maybe you have an earth sun, or a sun that is really close to Saturn, or a sun that is a little bit of just like a begrudging, like, what's that, like a Christmas Carol guy, like a Scrooge. Are you cheap? Is that part of the problem? Yeah, I think money is part of the problem, actually. So you wanted me to lay out all my stuff, by the way. Before I set up this reading, for some reason, you wanted me to lay out my stuff, and I was gonna cleanse it, but you wanted me to cleanse it in the reading for some reason. So I'm doing that with you now. And you wanted me to be quiet when I did it. You know what you want. Like, you really know what you want, which is really cool. That makes sense that it's the sun here. We'll use the Venus here. The sun with Pisces in the 8th house. Oh, but it's very well aspected. Okay, let's cleanse this stuff. You're very intuitive, as are the piles, all the piles, but I think that you are much more guttural based. Like, the first pile, I think, thought they were more guttural based in their instincts, but it's actually more up here. You actually do operate from your gut instinct, and you actually are somebody that should follow it and continue following it. Like, you just know, I think, also when someone's hurting, when somebody needs healing, when someone needs helping, and who needs healing and who needs helping. But I think a lot of your misery comes because you feel like the people don't want it. You feel like people don't accept it wholeheartedly or open-heartedly or trust it. And that actually really hurts your heart. Like, people don't trust you, I think. People don't trust what you say. People don't trust what you think. People don't trust that what you're saying is what you think. And I don't know what the truth is either. You're done with that. I think that you really pay attention a lot to people's teeth for some reason. And you pay attention to people's just facial features in general. Like, maybe you have a natural ability to face read. This in the group seems like because you are so open and just so here. You seem like you guys are more of the healers and the more spiritually inclined people. I don't think you're necessarily religious. I actually think the first pile's very religious. I think you are much more nebulous than that. But I think you guys are like what you would call the people that are here in this video because you also do this stuff, you know? And that's why you know what energy to bring to it. So let me finish this up and then we'll take a look at your chakras. So what I was gonna say is with your things, I think that your things have a lot to do with why you might be miserable right now. I feel like there's some things that you still want out. All these things have to do with love that you want out. I think you want a friend. Yeah, I think you're really missing having a friend. You know, I haven't done any tarot. I'm being just the first time to pull one out. And I think that might be a part of your misery. It's like I'm almost feeling like you tear up, like you haven't had somebody that you feel like is on your level for some time. As far as like you have, I think, significant people in your life, but no one that takes their only role is friend, right? Like you used to have a lot of people that their only role in your life was a friend, but now you don't really have that anymore. And I think that's been really hard on you. And I think that's actually where your misery is coming from. You know, with everybody else, it took me quite some time to get to this point. I think there was a lot of fluff, I felt like, but no, with you, it's like you could have, I don't think you realized how much this is affecting you. I don't think you still realize how much it's affecting you, that you don't have a friend or someone to talk to that's separate from your situation. Maybe you have a friend, but they're your roommate right now, and so they're a part of your situation. Maybe you have friends, but they live far away, or maybe you have friends, but they're also in a relationship with each other. So they're not just your friend, they're also this person's boyfriend or this person's girlfriend. Like, you know, it's just, there's nobody that you feel like, that you feel like you connect with, right? Okay, Queen of Cups. You actually picked my favorite deck, just by chance. Also with that all-seeing eye here, it makes sense, pile 3, that you guys are kind of more the spiritual healers, and that doesn't mean that the other piles don't have the capacity to, but their soul does not want to. Your soul actually does really want to. Your soul really does want to help people, and it does really want to heal people, and that actually makes you really happy. I don't think you're doing that enough right now. Yeah, I don't think that you are a lot of water energy, a lot of cups energy. 10 of Cups reversed. It's like you have the potential to have this really happy family and have this big success and all these cups, but something's blocked. You're at a mental crossroads, or at a mental stop. You're wanting me to just pull out some cards real fast. You're wanting me to just talk to the cards real fast. Okay, what are these two things? Let's see if I can shotgun this at the pace that you're asking. Romance, love, and sadness, and like melancholy. Fulfillment and sadness. That's the crossroads that you're at. If you should be happy or sad. If you should be happy going about things, or if you should be sad and try to integrate yourself into society and try to be more cooperative. If you should try to go out and get friends and make that be your point, and that be your focus, having fun times and enjoying life and experiencing things. Or if, almost like I want to say, building an empire, if that's what you want to focus on. An empire doesn't have to be as extreme. Can I go faster? Oh my god, slow down. The world's reversed. Yeah, slow down. Why are you trying to fucking complete something right now? Why are you freaking out, dude? Like, why do you need this so quickly? I thought this was going to be a much more mellow group. It's just because you feel so insecure right now. Yeah, the star, but it almost was coming out reversed. This is such a cool star card. Yeah, these are big cards. The World reversed, the King of Pentacles reversed, and the Star kind of reversed. So you're supposed to have really big themes in your life. These really, 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 really big, strong themes in your life. But you just feel like they're not coming to fruition and you're impatient. Well, the star takes a while to shine, right? Doesn't it take a while for us to see a star from far away? It takes us a while to be able to see it. It takes us a while to know it's going on. Okay, so give it some time, give it some rest. Give me some time to rest. Give me some time to cook. Hold on. Jesus fucking Christ, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God, I didn't mean to be so mean. I think you're very playful, but I think people say mean things to you very quickly. People treat you disrespectfully very quickly. People say mean things to you very quickly. I think, oh my God, I don't know how you talk. It's like I know how people talk to you, and I know how you, I understand how you experience it. I mean, I don't fully, but I do. I feel like I'm able to read it, say things. I'm able to talk about it. But it's like whenever I talk about oh, how do you talk? It's like I stop and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that obviously has some connection with misery. I think you're very wounded, maybe, in your speech. And that has some to do with your misery. Maybe the way that you talk has had you to lose some connections. So we're gonna go in with this I thought this was Venus, but this is Jupiter. I guess Jupiter is what we're meant to go in with. So we're gonna go in with some of this. So you think you need Venus, but what you really need in your life is Jupiter. So you need, you think you need to share, but you don't. Could you use a friend? Yes. Do you need a friend? No. Do you want a friend? Yes. Are you expansive on your own? Yes. I think right now what you need to be more concerned with is getting people to hear you and getting people to support you because of the things that you say. Whether that's on a small frame or on a big frame. Oh, I don't want to make a big mess. Is that anything? You're really, really miserable, actually. The other people's cards I actually don't think were as, you know what you feel? You feel the kind of misery of the kind of what I was talking about at the beginning. It's like, it's that unfulfillment. It's like, there's so many possibilities in this world. There's so many ways that we could explore this lifetime. I think your misery is bigger. It's like not really about you. It's not like you own this misery. It's like you're aligned with this collective unconscious of misery, of this like yearning for enjoying life to the fullest, because these cards came out for reversed. Like feeling like there's literally the options are limitless. And you don't have, these are two positive cards that you don't gotta hurt nobody. You can do your own thing and enjoy yourself and feel completed and fulfilled. This life and this world has all of what we need to be fulfilled and total and complete and happy, and it provides for us in more ways we could ever imagine than we ever need even, but yet still we're not all getting to experience this. And then even the people that are getting to experience the state of fulfillment where they have all these things, they don't actually feel fulfilled because it does create this numbness with the way that we have created the world, right? With the way that we run and how we market things and all that sort of stuff. And so yeah, things are connected to this actually. Even though you're a very spiritual healing person, I think it came from this feeling of lack, this feeling of instability, this feeling of financial instability of your life, this feeling of getting so close, feeling like, to financial stability, and getting so close to this feeling of fulfillment and success, and then having to start over. And your money, as much as you don't want to think, is very cliche, but it is very much tied to your self-worth. And the other piles know that. I don't need to tell them that, but I need to tell you that because you don't believe that, but it is. I think you're very much in love, whether that be with yourself, whether that be with your environment, whether that be with life, whether that be with a person. I think you see life as having a lot of choices, and I feel like you do feel like you've made a lot of the right choices, but you also feel like you should be more supported in the choices that you've made, that more people should be like you in the choices that you've made. What? Which is weird. What's that problem about? What's that problem about? That's something very different that we're touching on now. And now the cards are changing. Let me take a sip of water. You think you have enough water energy in your life, but you don't. Okay, so right now, we have at the root chakra, the Five of Pentacles. And I'll show you what this looks like. I'm surprised actually with the Five of Pentacles that your root chakra is open. You know, a lot of people would have the Five of Pentacles here because the root chakra is closed, because they're not open to abundance, they're not open to that sort of stuff, like they're keeping themselves in this financial prison, but you're not. You've actually, I think, always been very open to abundance and always felt like you deserve just basic human needs, like, you know what I mean? Nothing, I think, too extreme. But I think you just feel like, yeah, like nobody should ever be in this position. I don't ever deserve to be in this position, even though you have been in this position before. I don't think you let it affect you too much. Like you didn't let it affect your self-worth, actually. That's not what affected your self-worth. You, if anything, it helped you gain your self-worth because you were like, no, I may be in this situation that's a little bit harder, it's a little bit less than, but that does not reflect upon me. And that's why you don't think that your finances reflect upon you, because it's not in that way. Your finances, I think, reflect upon you because you want to be independent and support yourself. And that's what frustrates you. It's actually a much more surface level, reachable thing. It's not some sort of deep metaphysical situation here. I don't think anybody today has had issues with their sacral or their solar plexus as far as depression or as far as misery goes. I don't think that those two are connected, surprisingly enough. Which I'm not surprised about, actually. That's something that I've been thinking. I thought that. That's why I never watched the videos that said, if I searched this online, I never watched the ones that said, like, why am I depressed? Because I was like, I'm not depressed. I care a lot. I like myself a lot. I have a lot of passion, a lot of motivation. I'm not depressed. I'm miserable. I'm miserable because I have all this sacral solar plexus chakra. And that, I think, is how every pile is feeling. You know, I think every pile, if you're drawn to the misery and miserable, whatever, it's like, that's like one of the fundamental things. It's like, you like yourself. You want to do a lot, but the opportunities don't seem to be presenting themselves. That's why you need more Jupiter in your life. All right, let's move on to the heart. At the heart, we have the Two of Wands. All right. It's open. You think there's more to the heart chakra? It's open. You're good. Your heart chakra is very open. You like, oh, is it open? Do I love? You do. You love so much. Throat. That shit is closed as hell. We'll go back to that. Third eye. Closed as well. Alright, now let's see. I hate the Seven of Swords. You think your intuition plays tricks on you. You don't trust your mind. That's why I can't say how you speak and how you communicate, because you don't trust that you know how you speak and how you communicate. So I can't tell it to you. I can't reflect that back into you. It's open. It's channeling. Wait, watch it. Ready? Yeah, it's definitely the most open of all your chakras. And then watch as your third eye gets closed. So, your third eye and your throat are very closed right now, which is really interesting. Let's do a little bit of energy work. Pisces Sun in the 8th house. You don't want me to talk about it and you don't want to act like it. But it does feel like you've been dragged through hell and back a little bit. Like you don't even know what you just experienced. You don't even understand what you just experienced. But you know that it made you a very changed person. And you don't know if that is a healed person. You feel like it's not a healed person, but it actually is. Well, not fully, but you can never be fully healed. But what I mean by that is you're dealing with the things of it well. You're healing the things how they the healthier way to heal them. You understand hopefully what I'm saying? Yeah, you think so much. You have a lot of restriction on yourself. Yeah. Oh, did I mention like Saturnian context to your sun earlier? Because Sun is conjunct Saturn in the horary chart right now, or in the the skies chart right now. So I feel like you just need luck. Sun sextile Jupiter, Sun sextile Uranus. You have a really beautiful, beautiful personality. But right now it is hiding. And that makes sense. I said these are the healers. These are the Pisces Suns in the 8th houses. These are the people that do not think that they have 8th house energy though. I just feel like, yeah, it's like, because it's Saturn's in there, right? Because Saturn's also in there, it's like everybody else has this 8th house energy and I have to heal them. I have to help them, escape the woes of the world. Bro, you have to escape the woes of the world. Like, there's so much... there's so much misery here. Try to open it with me. Or your third eye. You're nervous. You're very nervous. You can open it. You're just like nervous to be seen, which is so weird because the aspects to your Jupiter are not really that nervous, or your Sun are not that nervous to be seen, or your Jupiter. Your Jupiter keeps on coming up. Let's just give you some luck. I think that we don't need this. I think that you just need some good luck and some loving energy. I think that as a healer, that's why you wanted the rose petals. Like you give give, but nobody pays attention. Like, nobody can heal you like you can heal them, right? You're a very sexually healing person. And I think that if you ever feel miserable as well, another connection to it is that you feel like you're not healing people sexually. Like, you feel like you're not healing the person that you love sexually. And that can cause some misery. And when you feel like you are a very healing sexual partner, you feel good about yourself, or you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do, or what you were meant to do even, which is interesting. But that person reflects you. If you're feeling like you're not healing them, it's actually because they're not healing you. And you can only give so much. At some point, they have to give, and you have to take for it to work out sexually. I think you know that because we have the sun here. But it's like you feel forced to forget. Like you feel forced to forget that. I'm shaking off your nervousness and your anxiety, and I'm going to try to replace it. We need to clear off everything here. I'm going to try to replace it with some good thoughts and just abundance and luck. Because we know why you're miserable. You stand that. You're always going to be a little miserable. But it's okay. That's part of who you are. It's just right now when you're watching this video, that means that you're probably letting it control you a little bit too much. And you're not getting enough of that Jupiter energy that I think you do also have strong in your chart. Or pay attention to where Jupiter's in your chart right now, or where Jupiter's in your chart natally. That might be where you're feeling a lack and why your luck isn't coming into play. All right, let's put some luck in. I feel like I need something. I didn't want to bring this out. You want me to bring this thing out? This is my, I was spacing on the actual name for it. No, knife. It's because you want to know what I have under there. That's why you want to know what little things I have. We're gonna do romance. No. You keep teasing me. You want to do romance. Actually, you want fortune. You just don't want to admit that you do. You think you actually have more fortune than you think you do. And so what I'm doing is not giving you fortune. I'm like accessing it and lighting it up, right? I don't think you're a superstitious person, and I feel like you would also use a white lighter. I've said this before. I don't know why this is coming up, but I just ate that shit. You're unlucky and clumsy like that. This is my clumsy people. Let me put this over here. Okay. You're so clumsy. Why did you have me pick out the knife in this clumsy energy? Maybe it's because you need to kind of like conquer this like insecurity, I think actually is where it's coming from. Okay. I don't use my knife. Oh, it's like a thame. That's what it is. This is not how you use it. You use it to cut. Why am I... You're making no sense. It's because you need to cut ties. Okay. Before we can get some luck going on, you need to cut some ties. I don't think that's how you use a knife. Why are you so, what am I supposed to, why are you so insecure? Why do you overthink so much? Dude, you have a lot of ties. You have a lot of connections to people. Do you want me to? I think what it is what I'm cutting is not maybe the emotional connection. I feel like you need to move on. I think you live in the past a lot. And I don't think you express things when they need to be expressed. So you hold on to a lot of extra baggage. Because even though you do talk a lot and you do express a lot, if you were to really be honest, you feel like you'd lose all your friends, but haven't you already lost all your friends? That was all for your throat chakra. You thought that was your heart chakra, but it wasn't. Where you get hurt is in what people say to you and what you never get to say to them, and what they'll never take in, and what they'll never understand, and what they'll never understand about you, and what they'll never understand about life, you feel like. All right. You smoke a lot. Or you do the most drugs out of anyone here, or any of the piles. You do the most substances, and you have throughout your life in general too. Very Pisces sun, right? Sextile Jupiter too. That actually has not messed up your throat chakra. You think it has. But it hasn't totally. What it actually is you get charmed. You get charmed. You get charmed by people. That's like your Achilles heel. That is another piece that actually makes you very miserable, is the charm that you let and the hold that you let people have over you. And you never show your hand, or you never get to see their hands of you having a hold on them. You never get that. But you always feel like they have a very strong hold on you. Why? Why? Because you feel like connection's rare. I think you value connection. You're a spiritual healer, and you think it's rare and a special thing, and you want to treat it with kindness, and you want to treat it with love. I think you're just more naturally inclined to treat people as a healer, even in your everyday life, So it's just like those themes are going to come up more. You have a lot of energy in your third eye and crown. How fun. Let's put some more in. I feel like you can handle it. Now let's just spread it out. You're actually naturally a very grounded up person, and people don't realize how envious they can be of that. Sometimes you can be envious of the people that don't have that grounding, though, and kind of get to, there's a lot more freedom without that grounding, you know? It's almost like you want, it's almost like what you want what pile one has, and you have what pile one thinks they have. You're meant to be grounded. You wouldn't like it if you weren't. You wouldn't like it. You said, I know. You want me to finish because you were like, oh my God, am I taking too much of your time? And we're almost done. Let me just do one last thing. I don't know what that thing is. Okay. You won't let me open this up. You know that's the problem, but it's like you won't. You don't want it open yet. Oh, now you do. Okay. I feel like I have to work fast. I feel like you're going to change your mind. Is that card? You have a lot of cool energy. Sorry, that's why I'm smiling. I don't mean to make you self-conscious. I like it. Feels good. You still have some more work that needs to be done on the throat chakra. But I think that is something that you actually do need to do yourself. I don't think that's something anybody else could do for you, and I think you need to use your healing abilities on yourself and treat your throat chakra in whatever way that means to you. And you will never dispel your personality type. I don't think we'll ever dispel all the misery, but I think just taking some care to that, feeling feeling misunderstood, I think feeling less misunderstood, you know, is something that you're really wanting and yearning for. And a lot of that does have to do with the throat chakra. At least for you. My dog says, it's over. The healing is done. It's concluded. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, pile 3, or, you know, choice 3. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it resonated. You can leave me some advice or whatever might be down below. I feel like especially from you, I'd be very curious. You seem to be, more what's the word, wise to this stuff, I guess, more knowledgeable on it. So I'd love to know some of your advice. If anybody would like a reading after this, I do sell readings on my website, shainaemily.com. I also have an astrology TikTok and I have a personal Instagram. But you being here is thanks enough. So thank you so much. All right, bye.